Okay, it looks like we have just gone live. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and happy summer solstice, or indeed happy winter solstice to anyone who might be watching from Australia. So, today we are chatting to the lovely Amanda Sophia, who is an amazing teacher and Celtic priestess. And we previously had Amanda onto our page to discuss the importance of ritual and honoring changes and welcoming new seasons into our lives. So, it's amazing to have you here, Amanda, on the summer solstice.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and happy summer solstice to you and to everyone on the northern hemisphere. And of course, happy winter solstice to those beloveds on the southern hemisphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit before we went live about the symbology of the sun and the summer solstice in particular. And as I imagine that most of our viewers will be coming from the northern hemisphere, maybe you could talk a bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, it's such a sacred day. I mean, every day is sacred, as we've talked about, when we just live a sacred life. You know, every day is a ritual and a sacred day. But especially today, you know, it's one of these major turning points on the wheel, right? And our ancestors, our mothers, fathers, you know, have honored this day, knowing that, you know, it's the most yang time of the year now, right? It's the sun is the highest up in the sky, and you know, of course, it's reflecting today. We've got blue skies, but you know, what I love about really being in tune with the wheel and the seasons is we're just always being invited to move into the rhythms of our own body, but also to look to nature and letting it guide us, right? So the sacred plant for right now, and you can see it's in full blossom, right, is the elder flower. And then definitely one ritual you could do is, you know, make some tea with it, you know, just those beautiful little white flowers. You can just get the white tea. Now, the green leaves and stuff and the stem is not something you should include in your tea. But if you look to nature, everything's in full blossom, right? But it is a crossroads point, and it is the longest day and the shortest night, but also from this day onwards, it's shortening. It's shortening. And what are we doing? We're moving back towards the winter solstice, you know, and that is the Tao, that is the yin and yang. There is always this change, right? So what's really interesting to reflect on today, because it is a day of outward and manifestation and joy and everything, but also taking that time to solstice, to pause, to stand still, right? That's what that means. And just think, whatever is kind of coming up today or that is opened up in your life is what you planted, seeds that you planted 6 months ago, depending where you are now, for all of us in the northern hemisphere, in the winter solstice. So what was in the belly back then that you were planting seeds, and how is that coming to alignment? I'm not as into the word manifestation, because that means that's something outside of you. But what was it you were birthing since that winter solstice? And what have you been watering for this last 6 months? So that's a really powerful question to ask yourself today. And also, what is coming up today? Because it's beautiful, the sun is here, but it's also a day where things come up, right? For, you know, to see maybe what healing can happen. And it really is, you know, a very yang, which is more the divine masculine, right? Because the sun, where the moon is the yin, the more divine feminine. So we're really being asked, like, where does that maybe need to be balanced in our life a little bit? Where is the masculine showing up, right? Because it's really interesting getting to witness that in my life. It's like, wow, where is that fire coming up? Where's that passion? Or even this sense of being overheated. So when you're passionate about things, that's beautiful, right? That brings energy behind it. But when things get like they do this time of year, and especially on today in the summer solstice, get overheated, it's like, okay, so where can I bring a little bit more of this flow? Where am I forcing things at this time? You know, just observing, because it's like the weather is beautiful, we want to be out. Whereas in, the winter solstice, we're in and we're, coming in like we've got no choice. The weather forces us in, right? And so it's like, it's beautiful because you're out and you're in alignment and there's play and there's joy, but where also is things getting overheated? So that's another really, really powerful question to ask yourself. And then it's like, okay, well, how can I, with self-care and ritual, really invite myself to come into that balance between my divine masculine and divine feminine with what is within us all? So really, really powerful questions to look at. And if anybody is wanting to do some kind of ritual, like, okay, so today is about the sun, right? And what effect does the sun, the fire, have on us? So our ancestors for thousands of years, this would have been a day where bonfires were lit and they would just dance around the fires and make beautiful flower crowns. And it was a very sensual and sexual time, right? Because, we wear a whole lot less clothes in the summer and there's joy and, we're alive in ourselves, even now, like versus you go to the beach, it's perfectly acceptable, bikinis, whatever. So there's a lot more skin showing and everybody's kind of overheated. So it's like, there is that essence in the air as well. So the festivals would have been like dancing around the fires in the flower crowns and jumping over the fire as a symbolizing like taking a leap of faith. Or also, as we know, the fire has the ability to transmute energy. So as you kind of jump over the fire, what energy at this time are you wanting to transmute, to transform, right? As well. Now, a bonfire might be a little elaborate for some, if there's not space and stuff for it. So you can do that just with a candle. But I invite you to take it outside. And this is the time of year we need to be outside all the time, but especially this time of year. So you could get one candle, a couple of candles, and intentionally, even just symbolically jump over the candle. And you can make your own crown, you can dance, you can. And so the other question that I would, inquire about today and take that time to pause is there enough joy in your life right now, right? And would there be some kind of action that you're willing to take? Maybe it's sometimes coming out of our comfort zone. Sometimes it's actually being willing to pause and slow down. But is there something that you're willing to do to allow yourself to access more of that joy? So some really, really good questions to kind of, just to sit with today. They could pause and come back and write down those questions, or we can put them in the notes afterwards. But just, it's so important and to take this time to actually tune in and connect with our ancestors. And, and of course, we're so blessed here, especially in Ireland, to have so many sacred sites. So go visit, sit in the center of a standing of a stone circle, or and then just connect with the ancestral energy, which is, it's like the veil is so thin on these points of the wheel.
Mm. I'm remembering the article that you wrote for us for our latest summer issue, where you mentioned the goddess Grania and calling in those archetypal energies associated with this particular time of year. So Grania is obviously one very powerful figure to call on. Is there anyone else that you would recommend that people maybe invite in? Or
Absolutely. I would say also Anya, she's known as the bright and radiant one, and she's known as like the head of the fairy realm, what we would call the Tua De Danann. So she has a very powerful energy, and her energy is all about sovereignty. And this definitely is a time of sovereignty, like stepping out, stepping into these projects and things in our lives, whether it's you've been single and you're ready to step, show up in the world and start dating, or, step into a relationship, or, these points can be endings as well. I mean, definitely more like the autumn equinox. We look at nature, it's letting go of the leaves, winter, everything's going inwards, releasing, letting parts of itself die. But the summer solstice still does suggest this. Any of these points are, what are you willing to expand into? And sometimes and always, in order to expand into something, we have to be willing to let go of something else. So, what is anything in your life that you need to make space for what you want to expand into at this time. So Anya, she's the goddess of sovereignty, of empowerment. And this is definitely a time, it's like, sword up in the air, and like, what are you willing to step out to? What is your, and just being really, really honest with yourself. What is my deepest heart's desires? Because a lot of the time we're not even honest enough with ourselves to really know, what is this? What is yearning within me to be seen, to be heard, to experience, to be expressed? What kind of creative potential? And then, of course, always Bridget, right? Breed. She's the goddess of fire as well. So, I mean, she's more definitely associated with Bealtaine, but of course we can evoke and tune into the energies of any of these goddesses that really represent this time of fire.
Wonderful. I wondered if you might have a quick meditation in mind that you can maybe take people through for a few moments, just to connect with that fiery energy or to feel it within our bodies.
Yeah, I would love to. That would be my honor. So I'm just going to invite everybody to uncross anything that you've got cross, and just I'm barefoot right now, so you can kick off your shoes, your slippers, whatever it may be, and it just brings you that bit closer to the earth. And especially where the sun is so high in the sky, like we really, really want to take that time to ground, right? It's all about ascending, but it's like, oh no, we need to be deeply rooted in order to be able to ascend. So I'm just going to invite all the beloveds to just gently close your eyes. And so what you're doing by the minute you close your eyes, you're just taking your awareness from that external yang, and we're going inwards, right? So then I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your heart center, to your beautiful, magnificent heart center. And then connecting with your breath. With every inhale, inhaling this inner coolness, right? So sometimes we feel overheated internally in the sun, right, as well. So as you inhale that, and then as you exhale, I'm just going to invite you to really allow yourself to exhale out into the world, whatever your truest, deepest heart's desires are. So exhaling out, and then just inhaling this trust. I do trust and know that what now as you exhale are putting out into the world as your true deepest heart's desires will happen and will align if and when it's meant to in divine timing. So let's take another deep inhale. And just as you inhale, envision that you're drawing the energy up from the heart of the earth and drawing it all the way up to the crown of your head. And then again, just exhaling that out into the world. And knowing and trusting that, it's heard, your message, the universe, source hears that message. So now I'm going to invite you to send your grounding cord at the base of your spine and at the soles of your feet. And just send that grounding cord deep down into the heart of Mother Earth, Gaia, Sophia, as we would say in Ireland, Eru, Goddess Eru. And you'll know the second your energy has reached the heart of the earth, because there is just this deep sense of, I'm home. And it is your birthright to feel this deep sense of rootedness and belonging and groundedness. That is your birthright. So sit into that now. Sit yourself into the womb of the earth and just allow yourself to receive the nourishment and the nurturing that the earth is always providing for us every moment of every day. And allow your breath and the breath of the earth to unify. So now feeling that deep connection with the earth, we're gonna keep that connection, but we're just gonna invite your energy really centered and rooted and grounded up from the earth. We're going to see it like this beautiful, warm, golden light. And see it entering in through the base of your spine, and feel it entering in through the soles of your feet. And just allow this really rooted, grounded, earthy energy to move up through your body. Feel it moving, entering in through the soles of your feet and moving up your legs. And if there's anywhere in your body that you feel discomfort, tightness, I'm going to invite you to just send this warm, nurturing energy there to invite in softness. And just feel that energy moving all the way up through your body, up through your core. Feel it moving down through your arms and fingers. And feel it moving all the way up to the crown of your head. All is well, being connected with your breath. And bring your awareness to the crown of your head, feeling your connection with your highest self. And also everything above, the sun that is beaming down right now. And as we evoke this sacred space together, we call upon our ancestors that choose to be here from heavenly realm for the highest good. And we can evoke the goddesses, Grania, Anya, Eru, Bridget, to support that these deepest heart's desires that we are sharing out in the universe right now are heard. Just allowing that energy of pure source to flow in through you and through every single cell of your being. And then we're going to invite this deeply rooted, grounded energy from the earth and this pure source energy to merge at your heart. And see it spiraling. And it is the merging and the unifying of that divine feminine and masculine within you, where all is honored and all is heard and all is seen. All is balanced. And I'm going to just invite you to float your hands over your heart. I'm going to invite you now to share your intention with yourself, as today is such a day of sovereignty. What is it that you are reclaiming as you are being witnessed here by your ancestors, by these goddesses, by the land, by this sacred day? It's like all the support is here with you right now. What is that for you? What is up for you now to reclaim? And as you feel the palms of your hands over your heart, feel your heart beating. And just take a moment to connect with the unconditional love within you and all around you. And connect with knowing that you are loved. You knew that from the moment that you were born. And then perhaps things happened along the way to take you away from knowing that truth, that you are unconditional love. And maybe one of the things you can reclaim right now is knowing that and fully stepping into that. So I invite you to take another deep inhale as a way of sealing in our practice. Inhaling that into every single cell of your being. And then exhaling that out into the world, out into the ethers, up to the cosmos, down into the earth. Giving deep thanks and reverence to all that showed up here today. And closing this sacred space in the energy of love and balance and unity, just as we opened it. Gameke. And then whenever you're ready, just gently opening your eyes.
Oh, wow, Amanda, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I had this amazing moment. I think it was when you said, let your breath unify with the breath of the planet, that suddenly this huge gust of wind went through the trees outside, and I could hear that. And I was like, oh my God, nature is confirming the work that I'm doing here. It's incredible.
And then thank you for sharing. That's amazing. And it will commune with you. If you commune with it, it will, and you're showing up to connect with it, it will. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for having me here today. It's always such a joy. So thank you.
It was an honor, Amanda. Thank you. So we actually did publish Amanda's recent article to our website. So I think I will pop the link to that in the comments, because that actually contains all the questions that Amanda spoke about.
Yeah, because I did put one other ritual in there that I didn't mention today.
That can be a surprise.
Exactly.
I know the ritual you're talking about. So
Yeah.
that could be an interesting one. Just make sure that nobody's around.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Oh, well, it was an honor to have you, Amanda. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes.
Lovely being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.